Hey, how's it going? This is James for VFX Nomad, and this is a Clarisse Quickstart. So the idea here is that you don't want to watch the tutorials or anything like that, you just want to make a picture. So first time you click on it, this is what you're going to see. We're going to say most likely physical, and here we are. So what am I looking at? This is your 3D view. Click in here, you're going to tumble. If you look down here, you can press F to focus on stuff. Here's your light bulb, and this is your image, which is what you're going to render. Image is here and it's here. Most important things in Clarisse are going to be this browser here. Everything is in a folder, which is a bit different to other programs. And when you click on something, it's going to show up here in your attribute editor, which is similar to most programs. So if you just want to make a picture, how do you do that? We're going to make a piece of geo here. So right click, new geometry, and then we're going to pick piece of geo, so a box. I'm going to click in my 3D viewport and I'm going to press F so it shows me where the box is. The tumbling controls are the same as Maya, so you're going to press Alt and then left, middle or right click depending what it is you want to do, and that's it. The box is there. We're going to click on the image view and this is your render. Okay, that is our box of wonder. How do we move our camera? We can go to the 3D viewport, we can click on the camera, we can press F and it shows it to us. Or if you're like me, you like to decide on your camera angle by looking through it. So you can click on your camera and you're going to drag it here to the eyedrop. And that's it. And then you can arrange as you like. So if we're this close, we're going to click on the image view. There it is. You can select a lot of the time in here if you want to and move stuff around. So if I press W, I can move the box through the render, which is pretty neat. And there we go. So if you want to put a texture on here or put a material on here, right click, new material, and we're going to say physical, because when we started we clicked physical, so that means it's made physical light just there. So physical lights go with physical materials, etc. We're then going to say diffuse. Diffuse is just going to be a diffuse color. So click on the color and we're going to say pink, and then we drag and drop the material onto the box. That's it. What's happened here is over here in your material linker, I don't know why the mouse goes giant, but here in your material linker you have, it just says here you've clicked on a surface, it's saying this surface has this material on it. That's kind of it. If you have a texture that you want to plug into the said material, we're going to right click and you're going to say texture, map, and you have the choice of a map file or a stream map file. Map file is the original, it just means a single texture. If you click on a stream map file, that's the newer one that I would recommend you use. And the assumption, well, the reason that this one was built was for UDIM tokens. So if you have more than one UV tile, you would want to use the stream map file. Generally speaking, I would say always use the stream map file. You can then choose how you want it to be projected, but you're going to be in UV most likely if you've made it for this object. And then if you scroll down, it's going to say, what's the file name? So you right click on here, go to wherever your texture is. So for me, mine is here. And then I want to plug this texture into this material. So I'm just going to drag and drop it to this checkerboard here, and in it goes. Alternatively, I could have clicked on the checkerboard and then picked it that way. Both do the same thing. Imagining this is done now, you're happy, this is how you want it to be. You want to render this out. Now, sometimes this is a little buggy if we do it this way around. You can click render to disk. Now, sometimes this guy is going to be gray, even if you click on it. They might have sorted this out in 3.0. If that's the case, I want you to click anywhere, click the plus symbol, go to render manager, if you can spot that before I can. There we go, render manager, and just click the arrow keys here. Okay, if you do that, it will turn these on. But anyway, so two ways of doing the same thing. So we're going to click on render to disk. You have the choice of whether you want to render a deep pass of that. Once your output format is linear, open EXR, so you're probably going to want to leave those alone. You're going to click where you want it to go. We are going to say, I don't know, test. Actually, I don't think I need to write EXR at the end. Okay. So here we go. We're going to have Clarisse/test. We come to the frame range. We make sure that the frame range is on 0. By default, it's going to be like that. So we're going to want to change it to single frame, 0, 0. And then we just say render. It says it's done. We go over, we have a look. Sorry, it was right there. And then we go test, 000.exr. Now, what you need to be aware of when you're going to render like this is to speed things up. By default, the image is on 50%. So even though it says it's rendering at 720, it's rendering at half of 720. So we change this to 100. There we go, it's cooking. And the sample quality is at 100, so we're good to go. All right, that's the only thing that you need to be aware of if you're rendering locally. If you're rendering to a farm, it'll probably overwrite that. These settings exist on the image, okay? So the image is like the collapsed version of what you're making. Don't worry about it too much for the moment, but you can add multiple layers. You could have a background, an actual background, so a picture, and then you could have your 3D elements, and then you could have another layer of other 3D elements, and then you could render them out. They would all render out separately, but all be part of one image or picture. But we'll get to that later. Don't worry about it. This was literally out of the gate. I just want to pick up and play. So there you go. Bring your geo in, put a shader on it, plug in a material. We have done all that. The only thing that we haven't sort of spoken about is if you don't want a box, if you actually want to bring in your own geometry. So you're just going to go File, Import. Now this is a bit confusing. You have geometry, which is just an OBJ. So geometry, we go in here. I have a duck. All right, there's my duck. Now, if I wanted to bring in an alembic, I would not go here. I would go to this one here, scene. So scene, we'll bring the alembic in, and let's just bring these in. These are for the next class, but I'm just gonna show you quickly. I'm gonna bring in these two. So what it's done here is it's imported this basic tub, this water simulation, this duck. So the duck we brought in is geo, okay? That is 90% of the time how you're going to bring stuff in. We tend to work in alembic formats a lot of the time. So what it does is it makes a folder because it's expecting maybe there's more than one piece to it. And then down here, it's going to show you what the path is, okay? We know what it is because we just brought it in. And then you click on this one here, and you'll see that it's multiple pieces. And it's just from that one file, okay? I just thought that was worth going over because it's not immediately clear. So you go import geometry, that's for OBJs, and you go import scene, that's for alembics, okay? Project means another project, and volume is volume, etc. Okay? I'll pretty much leave that there for now, but just in case you were wondering why it went all dark when I imported the tub, it's because the tub is very big. Okay? So it's just blocking the light. And that's about it. If you want more lights or whatever, right click, new light. And then make sure you go for physical because that's what we're working in. The next lesson will be an actual workflow of how I would go about this and how you should work moving forward and what this stuff actually does. This was just to get you up and running because as you can see, having all this stuff dumped into one folder, it's going to get really messy really quickly. But anyway, I hope that was helpful and get you up and running. Check out the rest of the lessons if you actually want a bit more of an in-depth understanding about what's going on, how you should work, and how you can use the power of it.